Dear chairs, dear audience, I would like to present my research topic, which is the role of cement spacing in the success of CAD/CAM restorations. My name is Mónika Balázs. I'm a clinical specialist at the Department of Restorative Dentistry and Endodontics, and also a first-year PhD student. My supervisors are János Vág and Eszter Szalai, and my SMS is Nazanin Gotz. My vision is to contribute to perfectly adapted CAD/CAM restorations. To achieve this, my mission is to find the best cement spacing parameters for CAD/CAM restorations. I have two projects to fulfill my mission. Both of them started this autumn, and both of them will investigate CAD/CAM restorations in vitro. My first project is investigating the effect of cement spacing on the fit of milled CAD/CAM restorations, which will be a systematic review and meta-analysis. Precise data on the global prevalence of dentate adults with fixed restorations, such as crowns and bridges, is still missing. However, surveys from the United Kingdom indicate that approximately 1/3 of dentate adults have at least one crown tooth. Regarding the clinical outcomes, it should be noted that the estimated 5-year success rate of milled CAD/CAM crowns ranges from 74% to 92%. Marginal and internal adaptations are key determinants of prosthetic success. Inadequate marginal fit can lead to the failure of the restoration, primarily due to plaque accumulation, cement dissolution, bacterial infiltration, and the resulting secondary caries and periodontitis. Mistakes can happen at every stage of the CAD/CAM process. However, we have the cement space between the abutment and the restoration, which is able to absorb these minor inaccuracies. By adjusting this parameter, we not only provide space for the cement, but it is able to reduce the misfit of the crown, which will appear then clinically as a smaller marginal gap here. Despite its clinical significance, cement spacing parameters vary widely across different CAD software platforms. Due to the lack of sufficient scientific evidence, dental laboratories often rely on manufacturer guidelines and technical notes when determining these settings. A scoping review of the topic suggests that the minimum cement spacing required for the lowest marginal gap is between 60 to 80 microns. Therefore, our aim is to determine the smallest cement space setting that minimizes the marginal gap of milled CAD/CAM restorations. Our clinical question is, what is the minimum cement space value needed to achieve the lowest marginal gap in CAD/CAM restorations? Our population is milled CAD/CAM crowns and bridges, the exposure is cement spacing, and our primary outcome will be marginal gap. We hypothesize that a cement space setting of 70 microns yields the lowest marginal gap. By optimizing this parameter, we could offer patients milled CAD/CAM restorations that have a more predictable clinical performance. Here you can see my search key. The first two domains relate to the population, while the third domain contains the exposures and the outcome. The search was conducted in October with 3 different databases. The search resulted in over 4,700 articles. After duplicate removal, I ended up with 3,600 articles, and we found 720 eligible articles based on the title and abstract. We finished the title and abstract selection in November, and we have reached the full text selection phase, which I hope can finish by the end of January. Now I would like to present my second project, which is comparing additive and subtractive manufacturing on the fit of fixed CAD/CAM restorations, which will be also a systematic review and meta-analysis. CAD/CAM systems primarily utilize milling, which is a subtractive technology. Although it is a widespread manufacturing method, it has several disadvantages. It faces trouble in milling complex geometry objects, especially at the undercut area. It is also economically inefficient, since milling produces 90% of material waste, and you also have to replace the worn bars after 10 restorations, since they will deteriorate the marginal and internal fit of the restoration. Moreover, it is time-consuming, since you have to manufacture restorations one after another. It is also expensive, both at the production and at the equipment investment level. Fortunately, recently a newer technology was applied in the dental field, which is the additive one, also known as 3D printing. It is able to overcome these disadvantages, but although it is a highly researched area, evidence is still missing whether its marginal fit reaches a clinically acceptable level as milling does. Therefore, our aim is to compare 3D printing and milling techniques on the marginal fit of fixed CAD/CAM restorations. Our clinical question is, does 3D printing provide a marginal fit comparable to that achieved with milling in fixed restorations? Our population is fixed CAD/CAM restorations, and we will compare 3D printing to milling. The primary outcome as well will be marginal gap. We hypothesize that the marginal fit of 3D printed fixed restorations is similar to that of milled ones. If our hypothesis is true, we could offer patients faster, cheaper, good quality multiple restorations. To sum up, I have two ongoing projects which I would like to finish by the end of next year. And I would like to end my presentation with a quote from Tim Notke: "Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard." Thank you for your attention.
Congratulations. I would like to ask you about your first project mainly. I was wondering whether or not during your inclusion, did you have an inclusion criteria based on like the entire process of CAD/CAM, or will you only research like the CAM phase, the manufacturing phase?
Thank you for your question. Basically, our inclusion criteria is to cover the whole workflow of the CAD/CAM process. So from the very beginning, from the impression taking to the end of the manufacturing method, and we will include both indirect and direct digital methods. So basically, the direct digital method means that the impression was taken with the intraoral scanner, and the indirect one means that there was a conventional impression which was later digitalized.
Thank you.
A quick question is, what is absolute marginal discrepancy, or how do you calculate this?
Yes, I would like to show you. So absolute marginal discrepancy is measured from the finish line of the preparation to the margin of the restoration, compared to the marginal gap, which is the perpendicular line from the finish line or the finished tooth structure to the internal part of the restoration. It contains also not just a vertical component, but a horizontal one as well. I would say that in clinical relevance, it actually has more clinical relevance, because we know that plaque accumulation occurs due to the absolute marginal discrepancy, but it is difficult to measure. And in most of the cases, they measure the marginal gap, which is more precise and reliable.
So I have just a technical question. I noticed that you included quite a few articles for food tech selection, and I was just wondering, what do you think, how many articles can be included after the food tech selection based on what you saw in title and abstract selection and your preliminary research?
Mm-hmm. Of course, for my project, it would be better to have more articles, but I expect that half of the articles won't contain the Semmelweis spacing data, because in earlier CAD softwares, it couldn't be set in a way that, and most authors didn't think that it was mentioning. So I think half of the studies will be excluded.
I know that you will investigate several influencing factors. What do you think which will be the most important one?
Yeah, in general, the number of units, so whether it was a crown or a bridge, but we will separate the studies based on whether there was direct or indirect method, and I think in both parts, the most influential factor will be the type of impression. So what type of intraoral scanner they used, or in the other way, what type of impression material they used and how it was digitalized, directly, or the plaster cast was digitalized by a laboratory scanner. I think that would be the most influential factor. But there will be several. Yeah.